All right, so the bell ringer for today. We'll finish up talking about a few people and a few ideas about our solar system universe. So think back to, oh man, last Wednesday, last Tuesday, for this bell ringer about these two models we discussed. And what was the argument between the two? Describe how the scientific method challenged traditional rules and ideology set forth by the Catholic Church. There we go. So maybe mention those models with your response here. And then this is going to guide us and move us into some of these famous people of the scientific revolution. There we go. All right, so we talked about two models again that were in contradiction of each other. And with the scientific revolution, we see new ideas emerge, which challenge the old models, these old views and ideology of the world around us and universe. So let's start off with that first model. What was that first model we talked about? Where the Earth is in the center of the universe and it's just motionless, doesn't move, and everything else revolves around the Earth, the whole universe does. Really? Go ahead. Geocentric model. Yep, good job. Geocentric model. And we talked a little bit about how Aristotle brought forth these ideas way back during this ancient Greece, Roman time, and through really this Middle Ages and up through the Renaissance. No one really contradicted it. No one really challenged this idea. Why? Who backed the geocentric model? Who said that this is the correct idea of the way the universe works? Paul. The Catholic Church. Yep, good job. Good job. So, again, it kind of just showed the hierarchy of power which was held by the Catholic Church through this time, and which we noted quite a bit through these past chapters. All right, so then eventually, through the Renaissance period, we had an idea of thinking and education where people were thinking internally, opening their own experiences and making their own decisions, and thought of reason. What was that called? Merged through the Renaissance period. Awesome. Humanism. Yep, good job. Humanism. Good, good, good. So with humanism, people were thinking outside the box. They were trying to challenge really what was the order of the Catholic Church and challenging the ideology that was set forth. And people were thinking on their own, coming up with their own conclusions, the way the world works and the universe is. All right, good, good. So with this, we talked a little bit about a new model that challenged the geocentric model. What was that called? What was this new model called? Chris? Heliocentric model. Good job. And describe that. How is it different from the geocentric? Sorry.
It was a model which had the sun in the center and all the planets stuff revolving.
Awesome. Good job. Good job. So you had the sun at the center of the solar system here, and then Earth and all the other planets revolve around the sun. Good. They orbit around us. Good. Good. All right. So with the heliocentric model emerging, who came up with this idea? What was his name? What was his name? We're going to talk a little bit more about him today. Go ahead, Austin. Copernicus. Yep, good job. So Copernicus comes up with this heliocentric model and challenges the geocentric model. Did he ever speak out about his idea? Did he ever speak out? Paul?
No, he was like running a book.
Yeah, good job, good job. So he never spoke out because he was in fear of what could happen if he tried to directly challenge the Catholic Church. So he wrote down his responses, his ideas, his ideology about this heliocentric model, and even on his deathbed, finished it, which was challenging the church, but he did so in silence. He did so not by speaking out. That's really the power of the church. All right, so we're going to move into this new age scientific revolution, which is going to inspire many inventions, innovations in living and lifestyle here on out. And this is going to propel us through the 1800s, right, into the 1900s. And we all know eventually this is going to lead us into world wars. So this is really this kickstart of new ideas, new inventions emerging in Europe, starting from the end of the Renaissance period, this age of enlightenment, which is bringing on new thought, new ability to maybe challenge the political structure of the time. Now we're thinking more of innovations, okay? And even today, there's many innovations that are emerging, which is really game-changing, right? It's just changing the world. So you can talk about many different things, even still today, that has been inspired by this scientific revolution. We're going to apply experimentation to these ideas. All right, is there any questions here on this bell ringer? Again, I just wanted to give you another one, so then maybe towards the end of the week, we can count them for 4 of them. That'd be great. That'd be great. Did I grade yours last week? I didn't. Did I tell you to hold on to them? Okay, so hopefully we'll have, 7 then? That'd be awesome. Okay, so I'd like you guys to go to modules. All right, so at the top of the module, you will find the chapter 3, Absolute Monarchy, Enlightenment, and Scientific Revolution. So click on that. And then I'd like you to open up the textbook chapter, Revolution and Enlightenment. So once you click on that chapter, Revolution and Enlightenment, it's right here, that link under textbook chapters for unit. Okay, I'd like you to start here on page 292. We'll read it together. Galileo on trial. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So this is kind of going along with what we're talking about. So who would like to read that for us? Who would like to read that? Or do I have to pick someone? Can everybody access it? No? I see some people have it up. Okay. Well, I'm going to pick Connor. Do you have it? You're working on it. Galileo on trial. Anybody else that has it? Aaron, you got it? Okay, thank you, Aaron. All right. I appreciate you participating. No one else want to raise their hand. What's up with that? All right, go ahead, Aaron.
Italian scientist Galileo.
Speak loudly, though, okay?
Okay.
Yep, speak up.
The Italian scientist Galileo found himself in trouble with the authorities of the Catholic Church. Galileo believed in the New World View. He explained to a friend, "I hold the sun to be situated motionless in the center of the revolution for the celestial bodies, while Earth rotates on its axis and revolves about the sun. Moreover, nothing physical is that sense experience but before our eyes ought to be called in question, much less condemned upon the necessity passages."
All right, stop right there. So what do we get from that first paragraph here? What's going on? What's going on? How can we break that down? What's going on? Oh boy, anybody? Chris, what do you gather from the first paragraph?
Basically, he's spreading his ideas of the sun being the center of the source.
Yep, good job. So we talked about Copernicus already, the heliocentric model, and Galileo through this observation with his telescope is like, you know what? Yeah, it's right. Okay, everything that was spoken about by the Catholic Church, maybe we should question it. Maybe we should come up with our own ideas to interpret the universe and interpret the solar system. Maybe we should step away from this geocentric model. Why? Because, well, it's not correct. All right, okay, moving on here. Aaron, you pick someone. Go ahead. Popcorn. Yeah, this would be good. This would be good. It's been a while since we've done this, I'm sure, right? No? You guys do this in English class?
Find it.
What do you mean you can't find it?
You guys can find it. I can't find it.
Are you kidding me? I didn't think it was that hard to find. Guys, was it?
It's like my dad.
Yeah, little sauce.
Not too bad. I don't know. I thought I had laid out. All right, go ahead, Austin.
Second paragraph.
Yep.
Catholic Church had a different view. 1632. Galileo was 68 years old, and for ill health was called for the dreaded Inquisition of Rome. He was kept waiting for 2 months before he was tried and found guilty of heresy and disobedience. The report of the Inquisition said the view of the substance, motionless at the center of the universe, is foolish philosophy. What?
Philosophically.
Yeah, philosophically false and utterly absurd.
Yep.
Heretical. Or contrary of those.
All right, good job. So what's going on here with this second paragraph? What's going on here? Connor, go ahead. Thank you.
Found guilty of pretty much just
Right? Jeez. He's like, no, I can prove it. I'm right. I swear it through these observations. And the church is like, yeah, I don't want to hear about it. So when you think of the Inquisition here, it's like an interrogation, almost like it's almost like they're questioning him in front of this council. Okay. And he's just like, no, I can prove it through scientific reasoning. I can prove it through observation. And the church is like, yeah, no, we're not buying it. Sorry, we're not buying it. All right, last paragraph. It's viewed as a heretic. Uh-oh, challenger to the Catholic Church. Austin, you want to pick someone?
Paul.
Paul, okay, thank you. Paul, go ahead. Finish it off.
Completely shattered by the experience, Galileo recanted in 1633 with a sincere heart. I curse and detest the said errors contrary to the Holy Church. and I swear that I will never more in the future say or assert anything that may give rise to a similar suspicion of you. Legend holds that when he left the trial room, Galileo muttered to himself, and yet Earth doesn't move, or does move.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, so what do we got here? What do we got? What does this last paragraph state? Paul, go ahead.
Like you just stop talking about it.
Yeah, good, good, good. So he said, you know what? I apologize. I should have questioned the Catholic Church. All right, it was my bad. Sorry for making an unreasonable thought here, an understanding of the solar system and how everything revolves around the sun here. But what did he say under his breath as he was leaving here? What was he saying? It's kind of like, oh man, I don't approve of this. I'm just gonna make sure everybody knows. Chris?
Basically, he was saying he still believes his ideas, but he wasn't gonna, speak out against the Catholic Church.
Yeah, good job, good job. So he's like, you know what? I'm not going to challenge the Catholic Church, but my ideas are still going to be in my mind, right? I'm not going to just give them up. Okay. Through this observation, through reasoning, I'm just going to prove it, but I'm not going to challenge the church. It's almost like getting in trouble, right? You're sitting there, you're like, oh man, I don't really approve of this, but I know I'm right. I know I'm not wrong here. It is what it is. I'm just going to keep moving forward. All right, so Galileo on trial. But anyway, with these new ideas of this scientific revolution, it just proves that not everybody was for it. And many people were still stuck in this ideology brought forth by the Catholic Church. Why? Because of the power the church held. And through this time of the scientific revolution, people were starting to think outside the box. And with that, with the printing press, this is allowing these ideas, these Enlightenment views, what we just talked about, this last topic with people challenging government structure and how people should have rights and freedoms. Now we're moving to more scientifically, okay, how people can prove the world around them through science. All right, so I'd like you guys to write some notes down here. All right, I'd like you to read through right here, A Revolution in Astronomy. All right, so this is on page 294, A Revolution in Astronomy. Okay, 294, read through this. And you're going to finish up on page right here at the top of 297, okay? So just hold off on the breakthroughs in medicine and chemistry. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. All right? I don't know if we'll get the notes. We'll see. Depends on how fast you read, I guess. But again, page 294, Revolution in Astronomy. Read through these topics here. You'll see Copernicus and Kepler, right? You'll read through Newton and Galileo, and then you'll finish right before chemistry and medicine. Okay? You guys know what we're doing? Make sure you're writing notes down. All right? Make sure you're writing notes down about these people here as you're reading through it. And we'll discuss it. We'll go over it. Hopefully, towards the end of class, we'll have some time to do that. Again, jot notes down as you're reading through this. Bless you. Do you need more time? Okay, no problem. No problem. Bless you. Bless you. All right, so hopefully you guys wrote some notes down as you're reading through that section, okay, about some of these famous people of the scientific revolution. Hey, real quick, I just want to go over a few of these famous scientists really at the time and dawn of modern science. So the old view, we talked about this already with the geocentric model and how this was backed by the Catholic Church. Okay, the Catholic Church wanted to try to hold all power, and everything had to be proven through Scripture. Okay, and it really didn't open up the idea of knowledge, of insight, of reasoning, of challenging these new ideas. Okay, in many cases, we talked about already, the Catholic Church would view people as heretics that try to challenge or question their ideas or this ideology brought forth by the church. So it was really presented through fear. And we mentioned that already with Copernicus, even with the reading at the start of this lesson today with Galileo. He was in fear of what could happen to him if he continued to challenge the Catholic Church. He'd probably be killed, right? He'd probably be placed in prison for the rest of his days. All right, so new causes here to the scientific revolution. Again, we already mentioned it, okay, with humanism. Okay, with the Renaissance period, people started to bring back ideas from ancient Greece and Rome and applying it to their everyday life and trying to answer some of the questions brought forth. Okay, and then obviously the emergence of math and new ideas emerging with education and academics to apply to these methods to try to prove their findings, to try to prove their observations. All right, I guess you could say back in the day with the geocentric model, many people were just watching the sun rise every morning and set. It's like, oh, well, it makes sense. Obviously, the Earth is stationary, structured right in the center of the universe, and everything revolves around it. But eventually, with new tools, new ideas, obviously with the telescope, you could span out past just the basic naked eye and apply it to many other observations to prove their findings, like the heliocentric model, which we talked about. All right, and we talked about exploration already. So this new age of exploration, new insights, new ideas that were scattered really all around the world, and how society is formed and structured, maybe politics at the time, in many areas all around the world. So this is bringing a new insight, new idea, new resources to these European markets where they can apply it to their own insight and question the world around. All right, so we talked about the geocentric theory already. Again, it's pretty basic, it's pretty understandable. The Earth's at the center of the universe, and everything else revolves around it. Again, the church backed this idea. Christianity backed it. And if you dare to question it, chances are you'd be viewed as a heretic, you'd be challenged, you'd be killed, right? So overall, many of these scientists kept their mouths shut. Like Copernicus, we talked about, like Galileo, he was even trialed in Rome for the ideas of this heliocentric Copernicus view. All right. So again, geocentric model, we good with that? We talked quite a bit about it already. All right. So moving on. So important breakthroughs, we have Copernicus. Okay. So Copernicus, again, he thought, well, the Earth is not the center of the solar system. Okay. He believed that the sun is, and the planets, the Earth, all revolve around the sun. Okay, this is what's bringing light to the Earth and allowing for growth, allowing for literally biology, for living. Okay, so again, Copernicus really out of the ordinary for the time, questioning the geocentric model. And again, his ideas, if it was brought forth, okay, the Catholic Church would probably try to undermine it and try to kill him. So he kept it in silence. He wrote them down. He made his own beliefs, his own interpretations of how the solar system works, how the universe works. Okay, and he does so through observation, making his own interpretations through reasoning. Again, we talked about this already. I'm not going to focus on it too much. So the heliocentric model. All right, Kepler, right? He came up with more of an idea of how the planets, okay, they orbit, they revolve around the sun. Okay, they do so through more of an oval shape. It's not just a circular shape. So he does so and proves it through these ideas of motion, applying mathematics to the way these planets orbit around and revolve around the sun. Okay, so he comes up with many laws of planetary motion. So that's one thing to note here about Kepler. He comes up with laws of planetary motion, proving this Copernicus view, all right, this heliocentric model. So again, challenging the geocentric model. He's coming up with this idea of how these planets ellipse around the sun, how they revolve around the sun, and proving further this heliocentric model. Okay, again, challenging the geocentric model. He does so through mathematics, right? He does so through his own observations, not just solely blind and following what the Catholic Church has to say. All right, so again, here's his view of the ellipses of what we know as these revolutions around the sun, proving the heliocentric model. Again, didn't speak out, didn't talk out, right? Galileo, okay, we just read a little bit about him already. So proving more with observation. So using the telescope, okay, he's making these observations and showing more forth this Copernicus view, this heliocentric model, and viewing other planets, seeing the moon and how it obviously orbits, how it revolves around the Earth. Okay, and then he is depicting more of how these planets all revolve around the sun. So he does so through observation. He utilizes the telescope to make these clear observations to prove this heliocentric model. Okay, he's seeing how the moon revolves around the Earth. He's realizing that, you know what, it's a little bit bigger than what we're thinking. Okay, obviously, the Earth needs to revolve around the sun. And again, he's proving these findings through observation, through the use of his telescope. And tomorrow, since we're running low on time, we'll go through a few of his quotes that directly challenge the church, which at the time he's viewed as a heretic for doing so. But I think you'll find it interesting as many of these men step up to the occasion and try to prove their results, their ideas through observation, through science, through mathematics. Okay, not just going along with the flow of things, even though, again, with Galileo, it's like, yeah, I will try to come out and vocally talk about the Catholic Church, but he's going to go to his grave knowing that he was right with his ideas through, again, observation. All right, is there any questions on Galileo here? We're going to talk about a few more of his quotes tomorrow, all right, and how he challenges the church.